What's going on? Welcome. Today is day 63 or log number 63. I'm going to get this right one day of the Haizhen log. My name is John. I am the founder of Haizhen, and today I am talking about creating structure. I've been thinking about this idea of creating structure a lot because of various reasons. I've worked over the last 6 months to structure a program to create Haizhen, which is this philosophy. So Haizhen is the process of continual resonant alignment, a continuous resonant alignment, and it's the structure that I've been putting together. But that's not the structure that I want to talk about today. I'm thinking about creating structure in the sense of being intentional, because what I've been reflecting on actually is this whole process, creating these videos, creating this YouTube channel, and putting out content to begin to be more intentional about the structure of these videos. I know it's silly to say, like, you might be thinking, have you ever watched a YouTube video? And of course, it's like, how could you not? But what happens is to think about putting that structure, like in the last log that I uploaded was talking about finding my own voice. And in that process of finding voice is to find my own structure. And ultimately, I think that it comes very similarly to other types of structure, but to sit down and write that, for me at least, without actually getting in there and doing the thing. So if I'm just like sitting there writing a script for a YouTube video and then like trying to put it out there, for me, it's overwhelming because now if I have a script, I'll have to figure out how to read it. Am I going to sit there and memorize it? No, I'm not. I'm not going to memorize that. Am I going to read off of a teleprompter? Well, I talked about reading off of teleprompters last video as well. And it's something that's also not natural for me. And the added difficulty of that is just the whole setup required. If too much setup is required, I will just not have time because like my day is packed. I am running from a full-time job. I am working on this as well as living a full home and family life with friends and all of these things. So in the middle of that, like how am I going to show up in this space in a way that aligns with my life as well as structurally is intentional so that your time is not wasted? And I think that it's not from disrespect that all of my other videos were super messy because I believe and I value your attention so much. I appreciate every minute, every second that you spend watching these videos. It really means something to me. When I look at the analytics for this channel, I've noticed that there's like actually like a lot of people watching or like hours watched, minutes watched, and like just click throughs and things like that. And all of those little bits just say like, oh, like maybe I'll give this a chance, or maybe this was interesting, or and all of that. When I get likes, when I get comments, when I hear feedback from like friends and family that have watched the videos, those are other little pieces that just really, that I really cherish. So I do really cherish your attention and the recognition of watching videos and when you're liking or subscribing to the channel. Now, the structure then, for me, needs to emerge from me because I understand that kind of like general layout, right? Like you have an introduction and you have the opening and maybe like you have a little bit of a teaser or a hook about what you're going to talk about. And all of that is well and good. Sometimes sticking too much to structure is a challenge for me as well. I'm apparently a complicated person, or maybe I'm just too dramatic. What I noticed was sometimes I would spend time creating a structure, and then once it's created, I just like to like get rid of it, like toss it away, and just wing it. And part of that comes from the preparation and thinking and overthinking things to a point of like having like rolled it around so much that it's almost natural to come out, that writing it down begins to sound a little bit robotic. Now, the structure that I'm looking to create here is really an intentional structure. So like I'm beginning to think more about like what is the progression through, maybe not specifically through these videos because these are intended to be my reflections. These videos are for me to put out there for you. But ultimately, it's my practice. It's my reflection. And I think if I'm thinking long term, I've committed to 90 logs um, released daily. And where I see this going is to eventually become a much more intentional reflection, and maybe more of like that kind of like casual behind the scenes, like that daily vlog type of video, where a little bit more production will fit into this, and some more editing, and maybe music, and all of these things to kind of keep the interest and make it fun. Now, if you are similar to me and have any sort of aspiration of like thinking about what to do if you wanted to get onto a YouTube video, and you've watched the tutorials, you've watched all the different like successful YouTubers out there, and other content creators out there creating content, and like this is the process and all of this. Of course, there are the videos that show all of the struggles. Like people's channels don't just blow up overnight, and the work that happens doesn't go overnight. And at the same time, it's easy just to like watch those tutorials and be like, holy, like, how are you like, all of that sounds good. But for me, who's just starting out, where am I going to go? You know? So I think that hopefully this will give you a little bit of an insight. If you watch back from the beginning up until now, you'll kind of see the progression of all of the different things that I've tried. And I'm at this place now. This almost kind of like ends this little like neat kind of like 4-section um, introduction to this new space that I've created. This space is a little bit different from the one in the last video and the last video and the last video, and all of them are in my new cleanup space. So I've been able to, in that space, begin to look at what structure is emerging. And it's given me that time and the attention, the space for attention, to then talk about, thinking about, and making notes about this particular video. So I've come to, I think, understand what I need to focus, which is just a general topic, and then how to end off the video, which is to make a um, little bit of a question to leave with you as the viewer to kind of ponder about, because that's what we do, right? We take the questions of life and we ponder them, we put them through our brains, and we kind of reorganize, and new things emerge. So if I can be that catalyst for you, I'm grateful that you're here. One of the other things that I've been working on actually is this sign off of at the end of the video, how to sign off. In the previous video, I talked about like just getting comfortable saying, hey, like if you are struggling with something, or like asking for comments down below, or to say like and subscribe for more. And that's one of the things. The other piece is the sign off. So you just skip to the end of all of those videos, and you'll notice that they all kind of like end kind of like oddly or abruptly. I used to sign off like, okay, that's it, bye, and then like hit the button. And then I think I did a couple of like something about ether, because I love that idea of like that full like we are all one interconnectedness. We are all part of the same ether, etheric field. And then I started to move towards like, you know, sometimes I get lost in the metaphor. And I love the idea right now of like nature and gardening, and kind of the field of our combined existence is almost like tending to a field, like a I don't know, as a garden field, like a physical, like a grassy field. And so then that was kind of like I was playing around with that. But then like my most recent sign off is thanks for your cooperation. And that came from actually the movie RoboCop, because that was a movie, or that is still a movie that's near and dear to my heart, just because of where I was introduced to it. I was introduced to it in my family life, and there's like a lot of relational kind of like interactions that have a lot of meaning to me. And as I was rewatching it last week, um, the first time that RoboCop steps out as RoboCop, he's kind of like, you know, he's had his kind of memory wiped, and he's just this program in his machine. And he goes into a liquor store, he stops a robbery, and then he turns to the owners and he goes, "Thank you for your cooperation. Good night." Maybe I need to add that in at the very end. And I, for whatever reason, it was just nonsensical enough that I really liked it. So I'm going to be signing off with thank you for your cooperation, or thanks for your cooperation. Maybe good night. If you think I should add good night to the end of that sign off, please let me know down below. And that's kind of where that sign off came from. And it's personally meaningful to me. And it's just like, what does it mean? I don't know. So I love that kind of idea. I was talking to a student yesterday about being artfully vague, and that can be a topic that I can touch onto in a future video, or maybe one of the Half Truth series, or maybe I'll make a new series for this video. Who knows? Or for this YouTube channel. So for now, that's where we're at. And of course, we're coming to the end of our time together. I appreciate the time that you've spent with me here. Today's question for you is, what do your actions say about your intentions? Until the next time we meet, thanks for your cooperation.